webinar today. We are sorry we are a bit late, but I know we'll make it. I kindly urge you to mute your microphone so that we can have a presentation without any disturbances. At this juncture, let me welcome Daisy Kerich to do a bit of introduction about herself, then we start off. Thank you very much, and put up your questions in the chat box. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Damaris. It's a beautiful morning, and I'm sorry I was winding up in another meeting so that I joined this one. My name is Cherono Daisy Kerich Karaoke. Daisy is an international trainer of mediators and also a licensed counseling psychologist by the Counselors and Psychologists Board. And I love to make people smile. So when Damaris fished out in regards to this day to talk about stress management at the workplace and how we can build resilience, I was more than glad. We work together in partnership with Liaison Group to ensure that people are mentally okay. The WHO statistics states that 1 out of 4 has a mental illness. And we were like, how true is that? But you see, when it comes from the WHO, it means there is some food for thought. 1 out of 4, if we are 100 in this webinar, and imagine 1 out of 4. And what are those things that will make you say somebody is not stable mentally? So I'm going to take you through a very brief presentation. Somebody is setting up for me here. And would want to see what is this animal called stress. But because all of us are in different workplaces, I want to imagine that you can also brainstorm. And in your brainstorming, just say, when we say somebody is stressed, what do we mean? At the workplace, you spend most of the time doing the work there, be it from morning to evening. What is it that makes you stressed at the workplace? And might it be that there are also instances where you carry stress from the home environment to the work environment, and you also carry stress from the work environment to the home environment? So what exactly is stress according to you? Just anybody. I want us to brainstorm so that we see whether we are on the same page of knowing what stress is all about. Anyone? Anyone? Those who appear in my screen is Alice Cheged, Enoch Abuga, RJ, Barbara Wairimo, Messi. Anyone? David Deng. Anyone? When you hear stress, what comes to your mind? You can even write it on the chat box. Can you hear me? Yes, Lazarus.
Hello, good morning, colleagues. So for me, stress is the way how I emotionally react to situations or challenges.
Thank you. Thank you, Lazarus. The way you emotionally react to a situation. Yes, thank you. Any other? Just to brainstorm. We are 212 of us. Sorry, I hope you're contributing towards what stress is all about. Mutiso? Mutiso? Any other? Thank you, Lazarus, for that contribution. Any other? When you hear the word stress, more so at the workplace, what rings in your mind? I'm looking at the chat box because when you talk about, okay, Thank you, Irene. I love your contributions. Asanteni sana. Okay. Unresolved thoughts, yes. Anything that disturbs my mental peace, all right. Money. Low peace of mind, yes. Not being able to function optimally, I love that. And being at the workplace, you have targets that are supposed to be met. Thank you. Pressure, anxiety, loss of control. Mawazo mengi, thank you. Anxiety, inability to sort issues that I need to be sorted, yes. Pressure, unable to cope with major life changes, yes. We see change on feeling, emotion, and unrest on the person on stress. Mental pressure occasioned by competing priorities, all right, and tasks, yes. More so, I'm trying to look at the mental pressure occasioned by competing priorities. What is important at this point? What is urgent? What is it that I need to attend to? And if I don't, something might happen. Being overwhelmed, resulting to low of output, yes. That's one thing that makes me awake at night, all right. The body's natural automatic reaction to change, challenges, or threat, money, mental, great worry, having uncomfortable physical and emotional response. I am telling you, we are talking about real issues. Thank you so much for your contribution. So, when I was given this assignment to undertake the training on stress, managing stress, and I said these are adults, and I want to imagine everybody has a fallback plan. When I use the example of what this thing that you expand it, what is it called? A rubber band. When you have a rubber band in your hand, I just want you to use this imagination. This rubber band, we are all very agile. The flexibility in us, even at the workplace, even at the home environment, and the agility to expand and contract, expand and contract. There's a limit that says, I can't take this anymore. So you find yourself when it gets to a point of I can't take this anymore, there are those who are very ready to say, you know what, this one can't work. And this one is beyond my competence. Let me allow myself to rest. Let me pause and do this. So as the setting up is still ongoing, and I don't know why it is taking time, there's somebody seriously working on it here. I just want to use the analogy of a balloon. I also want you to imagine the balloon. Just in your mind, imagine that balloon. And sometimes when the pressure is exerted and you're policing that balloon, and you put more pressure inside, when it expands to its limits, sometimes it can even burst. So when pressure inside is too much, be it from the workplace, I don't know whether we've had scenarios where a colleague might have just fell and they blacked out, and the next thing they were taken to ICU, because you would see the physical state is okay. Amengara kabisa, is in a suit, is doing very well, is earning good money, but the pressure inside was too unbearable. And it's unfortunate that sometimes there is the wear and tear. I don't know if I can, let me just check whether I can share. Damaris, I don't know whether I can share this content here, or I can send you so that you share it on my behalf. In my laptop, it's trying to load, and I can see it is taking a lot of time.
Sure, you can share. You can share if it's taking long.
Yeah. 1 minute as I share.
Hello, I can't seem to hear anything. There's no more audio this side. Daisy.
He's trying to share the content. Kindly hold on a little bit.
So thank you, as my dear Damaris is getting it up for us. Sorry, sometimes technology has a way of messing up things, but we can continue. So Damaris, just put it up for us.
Yes, I'm trying to do that. Just hold on a little bit as you continue giving the members highlights on mental wellness.
As Damaris is doing that for us, I can continue briefly because of time also. So as I was talking about the balloon, imagine that pressure that is exerted in it. There's so much pressure inside that is built, but the outer side is good. So I was using the analogy of the way you dress in the morning. You dress, but nobody would think that you're overthinking on anything. Nobody would think that you have unresolved childhood traumas. Nobody would think that you have issues that you're battling with at the workplace, be it interpersonal relationship and all that. Nobody would think that you've undergone depression. I like using my story to also encourage people. When I was working, when I was young, just immediately after campus, I enjoyed working. I was working in Mombasa, and I noted Mombasa life is too slow, and I wanted something that would make me run very fast. So I decided I don't like the pressure that is not coming very well. It's like this low workload and all that. So I decided to go to a challenging environment. Imagine being stressed because of lack of work. Like you have work, but you feel underutilized. So I decided to get out and go to a place where I would get more pressure to work. And so I left and I went there and I enjoyed my working at a different station when I left Mombasa. At least I was able to also study, change of environment and all that. So you see, that is what we call eustress. Eustress is the stress that makes you to want to do more. It's a motivator. Like it's motivating you that you can do more than this. Your energy cannot be contained in a place where you don't feel well utilized. So the more I did that, the more I got the adrenaline, and the more I felt happy about myself. We have different hormones that can make you a happy person. Like the cortisol is the negative hormone that is generated when you're moody. You see, every time you might find yourself waking up in the morning, but you don't just feel like that is a good day for you. So unasikianga watu wengine wanasema, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. So when you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, you might find your day is not really enjoyable. You find fault in anything that you see, and it creates precedence in the entire day. So the moment you start enjoying and knowing that this is positive stress, I want to imagine even at your workplace, there is that stress that you say, I like this job, despite the fact that it comes with its own pressure. I think I enjoy working as this and this person. So with that eustress, it motivates you. It's the positive stress that keeps on telling you, you know what, you need to do it. You're doing well. Imagine even when you're going for an exam, assume you want to advance you, in terms of your personal development, you want to grow. So you find yourself, you might have started with a diploma or a degree, and then you want to go higher, you're doing your master's, you know already, you know very well that even going for that master's is something that is motivating you, despite the fact that you know there are also challenges along the way. So you study your master's, you're done, you go for your PhD and all that. So in all those stages, you're motivating yourself to do it, yet you know there are normal stresses that comes along the way with education. Even family. Even in your family, you might have, for example, children. And when you see these children grow, sometimes they mess up and you're like, what's wrong with this child? But the more it gives you the encouragement that you are called a father or a mother because of these children. So you see, that is positive stress that makes you to continue doing whatever you're doing in that environment. Now, what is worrying is the negative stress that we call the distress. Damaris, you did not manage to do it? Damaris? Dama?
Doing it right away.
So when we talk about distress, that is the negative stress. Even as Damaris is doing it, that is negative stress. She's trying to share the PowerPoint presentation with us, but we cannot continue waiting because time is not on our side. So negative stress is the one that is acute stress, or it can be chronic stress. There are some times when you can get into a situation where you're stressed because of an episode that has happened. For example, let me give a very good example. There is one lady who has been enjoying her marriage all through, but unfortunately, she came to realize that her husband has been pushing or has been having love affair with a house girl. These are people who are 40 years in marriage. So the lady says, Daisy, I don't know how to overcome this. I feel like ending my life because of this episode. I have just found out that my hubby is pushing with our house girl. And it is a lady I trusted even when I used to go to work very far from home. I knew home was okay because I had her in mind. So that is an episodic stress that, if not well managed, can now lead to chronic stress. The acute stress is an episode that has happened, and how the lady will move from that point to the other will determine her resilience, even in the way she will do her things. Because if she dies, for example, of whose benefit will it be? It is a stressful moment for the family. Now I told them to undergo, both of them are undergoing counseling because you see, both of them have lost in a way. But it is just an acute stress, an episodic stress that has happened and can be resolved. If that issue is not well resolved, then it leads to chronic stress, because mama anasema akijaribu kulala anasikia tu she's hating on the man so much. Anasikia tu ammalize huyo jamaa. If we don't handle the situation at this point, it might lead to chronic stress, which becomes now toxic stress. So the chronic stress and toxicity, there are people who are in marriage and you find they have been very resilient. Anasema navumilia. But the toxicity levels get very high, and that is why they get into depression. I will give you an assignment where you're going to check on something called DSM-6, Diagnostic Statistical Manual Level 6. Depression is one of the mental illnesses that, if chronic stress is not, if acute stress is not managed well, it now leads to chronic stress, which can become mentally challenging to an individual. People develop bipolar disorders because of unresolved chronic stress. People also get into depression because of unresolved chronic stress. People
Sorry,
get
Daisy.
into mood disorders. Unapata mood ya a colleague. It's so unmanageable that the person just feels frustrated, and that's why sometimes they say, why are you laughing? They want everybody to be sad because their mental state is in a sorry state. So mood disorders, anger disorders is also a disorder that is in the DSM-6, depression, and all those kinds of mental illnesses, schizophrenia, and it all starts with lack of managing the stress within. The analogy of the bladder, if it is so much expanded to its limits,
Daisy.
this person who is a senior officer, you might even find this person dying by suicide because the pressure is too high to manage. So then, how do we identify the sources of stress at our workplace? Number one, at work, where can stress come from? Damaris, it's unable to present, to project.
Yes, I want to
Damaris?
project now. I want to project.
Imekata?
No, I want to project it now here.
Damaris?
Can you hear me,
Sorry, I
Daisy?
hope you people can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you. I think Damaris, just go ahead and
All right.
project.
Okay, let
Please
me project.
All right. So as Damaris is projecting, I was saying at the workplace, relationship with others. I don't know how we relate. Sometimes people have their own unfinished business. And when they come to the workplace, they project their anger on their colleagues. So the relationship with others might be challenging. I had a scenario where I was handling a private case, a counseling session, where one individual, they were competing for one husband at the workplace. So this husband was also a married person. So the two ladies were competing over this gentleman. He is handsome, by the way, very handsome. But then it went overboard. Yes, it went overboard because the gentleman impregnated one of the ladies. And so you can imagine this is a workplace and the lady has already been impregnated. Thank you for sharing. At least now we can see. Penda juu kabisa. Thank you, Damaris. I think Damaris deserves a clap. Tumwangushie tu makofi. Let's go to slide number 4. Slide number 4. Thank you. Slide number 4. Okay, we can just even start there. Thank you. Thank you so much. Next. Well done, Damaris. Next. Very good. So, sorry, don't go very fast. There is that pictorial just there. So when we talk about stress, we are saying it's the wear and tear. That wear and tear. Unaona vile gari huwa inaendeshwa mpaka inapata inahitaji. Damaris, we've lost you again na vile ulikuwa umeproject vizuri. Rudisha sisi hapo, Damaris. That wear and tear. Una imagine mwili yako if you don't your body, if you don't take care of it, definitely you'll have the wear and tear, and the body experience a lot of changes. Sometimes you feel headache. Just go to the next. Next. All right. If you want me to emphasize on this, so we said we have eustress and distress. Eustress, Rudy to Damaris to eustress. The moment I don't know, we lose you. We've lost you again, Damaris. So let me continue with my story as Damaris is putting up. So when this lady got pregnant at the workplace, you can imagine how the other lady felt. So she decided she's going to revenge. Why are you getting pregnant? And yet you know very well this is somebody else's husband. So she went ahead, she bought needles, so many small needles. And after buying these needles, she decided to now put in a spongy seat. So when this colleague came who is pregnant, when she sat, unfortunately, she sat on a chair that had needles on it. So you can imagine this frustration at the workplace that led them to even think you can put some needles so that hata yeye asikie uchungu. The uchungu that she was feeling is, why did you decide to get pregnant for a married man? But anyway, it was a story that I was able to handle because both of them were going through different situations at the workplace, and they felt projecting on each other was the best thing. So at the workplace, there is the sources of stress can be amount of work and the deadlines, relationship with colleagues, office politics, and also ongoing changes. You see, when you have those departmental changes, sometimes it can affect you at the workplace. I don't know whether in your workstation sometimes promotion comes and you find like you're not being considered, and every other time you're told to change station and all that. So you might find that it affects even you. It can be a source of stress that can just keep on growing until it becomes too much for you to handle. Even office politics. You know, sometimes there's a lot of murmuring. I say murmuring can also bring burnout at the workplace. Oh, thank you, thank you, Mashi. Thank you. So I was saying some of the colleagues or some of the colleagues at the workplace can be very political until the environment is no longer tenable for all of us to be in that office. So office politics also has a lot to do with stress at the workplace, and more so even as we are gearing into the 2027 general election. I want to imagine we have people who are from this side and the others are supporting the other side, and it can become very nasty, more so if we are from different opposing sides. So also outside work, we have issues of relationship, we have issues of marriage, we have issues of children. That one also adds a lot to the stress at an individual level. It might be you're battling serious challenges at the home environment. One time, was it 2 weeks ago? I just went somewhere to photocopy an item in a cyber. And the gentleman said, I think you're God sent. I came here as early as 7:20 a.m. because the home environment is not bearable. We fought at night with my wife. And that is why I decided to open this cyber as early as 7:20. And I was looking at it and I'm like, I thought I am lucky that I got a cyber that is open as early as 7:20. But the reality is his environment at home was not conducive for him to be there. So there are so many challenges at the family level. And by the way, I also work as a court annexed mediator with the judiciary. And majority of the cases that I handle are children matters. Family issues are on the rise, unresolved family conflicts are on the rise, and they are really stressing people out. When you look at that, it says stress is the emotional toothache of the workplace. When you don't resolve your family or even workplace environment, it becomes that pain that keeps on being very persistent. Every time you feel the pain and you don't know what to do, and you're at the workplace, and you become even highly irritable and all that. So we have negative stress coping strategies. What do people do at the workplace when they feel this is too much unbearable? At the home environment, it's unbearable. people go to take alcohol. Colleagues, you might find colleagues who are deep into alcoholism because they want to numb the pain. The pain is too much and they want to numb it. So people might start abusing drugs. People might even find faults. It's called fault finding. In any small thing, they find faults. People even get fake illness at the workplace because the stress level is too much. So they fake illness. Sometimes people even become very stubborn at the workplace. You can't really correct them. You find them very stubborn. You find them hyper and also some withdraw. So all those signs are negative stress coping strategies. And then what should we do at the workplace? Number one, positive coping stress. Just go to that slide. In fact, go to the negative slide and then the positive one. Damaris? Yes. The negative ones, just a moment. The negative ones. Because it might be, you might have seen a colleague indulging so deep in alcoholism. You might have seen a colleague also getting deep into other drugs, eating too much, fault finding, faking illnesses. Some people are even vengeful, like the one that I mentioned of putting the needles in a spongy seat so that the colleague can suffer. Passivity, stubbornness, tantrums, withdrawal, overindulging, worrying, and also hyperventilation. So when you look at that apple, they say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. But sometimes you can eat the apple and it becomes even so overburdening that you have developed negative stress coping strategies. You think you're doing your best by indulging in alcohol. You think you're doing your best by even being stubborn. I remember one of the workplace where I was also invited to go and help in mediating, not even counseling, because that was so deep. It's if one colleague is coming up the stairs, you have to give way, whether you like it or not. That is her path, and you have to give way for her to pass. So it was so much that people were like, whom does she think she is? But remember, it was tearing the colleagues' relationship because nobody wanted to approach her, yet they did not know what she was going through. The stress was because the boss was favoring a few of the colleagues and she felt left out. So sometimes people can be stubborn for no good reason. People can withdraw even from some of the things. And people can also worry too much to the point that if you hear a boss is passing by, you hear somebody is already tensed and so much worried, and they don't know even how to express themselves. So look at those negative stress coping strategies, which are not commendable. Then go to the next slide of the positive. Go to the next slide, my dear Damaris. Very good. Positive stress coping strategies. What do we do? Number one, if you feel you just need a break, go and have a break. I want to believe that you also have some leave days. Enjoy. Personally, I decided that I am traveling all the way from Nakuru to come to Mombasa. Number one, to facilitate a training, and then in the afternoon, be very busy in the beach. You get away, have some time for yourself, enjoy yourself, take some leave days, go do something very constructive with your life. Very important, build your self-esteem. Sometimes what really matters is understanding who you are and your self-worth. When we looked at the previous presentation, the previous slide, it said that even in family, we have issues of relationship matters that are not going very well. To build your self-esteem, know your worth, understand who you are. Also encouraging relaxation hobbies. What do you like doing during your free time? If it is playing, please play. Learn new things. You don't choose a support system, but you can also encourage somebody to be a support system. I'll use still my example. I like using my example. When I got married to a Kikuyu. And somehow the family did not like Kalenjins. It was during the post-election violence. So they thought that their son had messed up to marry a Kalenjin. But he supported me all through. So you see, if I did not get a good support system, I think I would be back in the Kalenjin land. But now when you have a support system that is beautiful, that works, you thank God and you also support them back. Say no. Having assertiveness is very key. Building on your assertiveness. It is not a must that everything you say yes to it. No. There are times where you put your foot down and you put it firmly and you say no. That is not what works for me. So having boundaries, understanding why your no is a no is very, very important. Sometimes we can also go deep into prayer, worshiping. Those are positive coping strategies that can make you enjoy also as you try to come back to normalcy. Also encouraging problem solving strategies. It's very important. Whenever there is a problem, don't be the kind of a person who is not ready to sit down and resolve the problem. Problems usually come, but how best to resolve them is what matters. Exercising. I think we were somewhere with Yvonne, and one thing that came out very clearly was that nowadays, the new smoking is sitting down. The new smoking is sitting down, and we were encouraged that you need to do some exercises. When you wake up in the morning, can you jog? Make your body have some physical exercises. Do something that can make your body just stretching even in your own house. It's very, very important. The lifestyle diseases, the non-communicable diseases come in because the body is so used to just sitting, eating, and not doing anything. Feedback is very, very important. Your biofeedback, go for checks and all that, sharing feelings, set priorities, and also life planning. As liaison group, the aspect of life planning is very, very critical. It can be so embarrassing that you've worked all your life and you don't even know how to plan yourself. We don't know when we are going to die, but it's important to plan. Failure to plan is failing to. There's a phrase that usually says what? Failure to plan is planning to fail. So life planning is very, very important. You plan your life, you plan your retirement, and also do anything that makes you feel happy. The results of stress management, number one, the productivity increases. The moment you have managed your level of stress very, very well, there is increased productivity, there is equally better teamwork, there is improved morale. When you wake up every morning running to that office, doing the roles that you're supposed to do, you're already motivated. Reduction of errors. You know, when you're at a stress mode, sometimes you find yourself not very productive. You find you create a report that has so many errors because you're stressed. But when you're not stressed, you find that there is a lot of coherence in what you think and what you put in paper and everything. Also, your health improves. So, and you know, there is very critical elements in life that are very urgent and very important. If there is anything that you must safeguard, is your health. If you're not healthy, you'll not be productive even at the workplace. And finally, improved relationships. So that is very, very important. And that says those that do not find time for exercise will have to find time for illness. Please ensure your body has some physical activity, even if it is just walking around over lunch hour. After you've taken your lunch, can you do some stretches around there? It might look abnormal, but it is the best. So let's go to the last slide the last slide, slide number 20, because we'll not talk about burnout today. We'll not talk about burnout today. I don't want people to feel like, that's a good one. Please, there it's important even on knowing how to manage your stress so that you know what you can control and what you cannot control. Sometimes you find yourself, so let's look at the inner circle. And I like using the analogy of this. You can look at the onion. When you peel the onion, you peel it, you get in. Sometimes the inner person needs to understand themselves more. You find the soft part. You see, the soul is, we cannot touch the soul, but the soul is ruptured the most. So because the soul is inside, you need to understand that you can control your positive attitude. From today, you can also control your inner peace. If you decide, I want to be peaceful, I know what it means to be peaceful, it starts with me. So the inner side also, you can control what you eat and how you can also stay healthy. You can also control your relationship with friends. If they are toxic friends that are making you to feel bad about everything, please understand that those are people who are not on your lane. Finding creative and different ways to make money. I think I'm a champion in this. I like making money and I like using money. I am very creative in a way that I train mediators, by the way. I also offer counseling services. I sell so many things, including cereals. And if you look even at the Bible, there is a verse that says you have to have at least as many income generating activities as possible. So you can tell yourself, I can do this. If it is financially, if one of the issues that you're struggling with is financial independence, try come up with something. Try sell somebody something, sell for us water, sell for us something within you use your talent to make something. And also you can also increase your productivity. The things that you cannot control, and that is what sometimes affects most of us. How do you control how other people feel? Other people's motives. The past, more so the past. You hear somebody say, you see, I really suffered. Most of the things that people bring to us in counseling is the past. Yeah? Somebody has been wounded in the past, and that was 20 years ago. They have never left that station. And they carried their woundedness even to where they are, be it at the workplace, be it at the family level. So you cannot control the past. You cannot also control the future. Our tomorrow, nobody knows. We are here today. Our tomorrow, nobody knows. But sometimes we live in so much fear that we don't know how tomorrow would be. External situations that happen around us, you can't control that. The beliefs and the perceptions about other people, you can't control. And finally, and most important, what will people say? If you forget anything in this presentation, just write down, what will people say? That animal is very small, but it makes people to always dwell there. If I do this, what will people say? If I do this, what will people say? So stop doing the things that aren't working. Look at that elephant. Huh? You want to do things and then you become a slave of your own plans. You want a V8 and the money you have is for a small car like a Probox. So you start with the Probox and then tomorrow you'll get the V8. So stop doing things that are not working. Don't become a slave of your own plans. Find the right balance that works for you. If it is something that is doable within your means, if it is something that you feel you can't manage, please stop it, adjourn it to another day, do what is workable within your means. Focus on your small success. Sometimes you even forget that even waking up every morning to just go to that workplace is a plus. So focus on your small successes. Finally, I want us to say the final thing, which is thank you, because time is not also on our side. and any questions can now come. Thank you so much. Thank you. I don't know whether I rushed through it so much, but I hope you have picked something. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Really humbles. So Damaris, back to you because of time.
Thank you very much, Daisy. Yes, because of time, we had just to rush through, but we will be able to share this presentation plus the recording before the end of the week. So yes, at this juncture, we can welcome questions. You can raise your hands, members, if you have a question or you need some clarity, or you can put up your question in the chat box, at least for the next 5 minutes. Yes, Catherine, you're suggesting that we have a session on burnout, not really, Becky Genga. Yes, we can have that next time. Any clarity, members? We are still here.
Good morning.
Good morning, go ahead.
Morning. Good morning, sir.
So maybe Daisy, if you can still hear me, you can take this opportunity to
Yes, I can.
to tell us where you're practicing currently. You can even put up your number here so that members can reach you if one needs a private session.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Damaris. I'm happy that you enjoyed the presentation, though I know I rushed through it because I was looking at the timelines. So we are based in Nakuru. Our office is in Nakuru. We offer individual counseling and also group counseling. And we like when teams work together because when there is teamwork, there's good productivity. I also offer trainings in mediation for people who would also want to work on a part-time with the judiciary. I also work with the Court of Appeal as a mediator in the Court of Appeal level. So thank you, Liaison Group, for this opportunity to always partner, to always impact lives. As I said initially, I love to make people smile. So in case you get somebody who would want the services, please refer them. You never know. You might change a soul, you might transform a soul. People are suffering. And just as a parting shot, mine is a passion and also God driven. One time I was sleeping, that was 2021, August, and an idea came, and the voice of the Lord said, "Go and help my people who are suffering." And honestly, I thought it was a joke at first, and I said, that is just a normal dream. But later on, I noted that indeed people are going through a lot. We have people who have invisible wounds. You can't really touch it, but it is deeply rooted. And that is why just a conversation, having a conversation and being in a counseling session can help somebody to be better and to work on themselves and know that they have the strength to move forward. Sometimes you find people have gone through loss and grief, and they failed to pick up their pieces. They went to the departed. And it becomes so frustrating because they will vent on the wrong people, be it at the workplace, be it at home, be it in their own family, you know. So you find that people are carrying a lot of baggages. Yet the reality is you can decide that enough is enough. I want to pick up my pieces. I want to move. I want to be a better person. So thank you so much for listening. I know we will always interact even in other forums. Thank you. And in case you have any matter in court that is not criminal in nature, might find like succession matters, like children matters, please request the deputy registrar in that court station that the matter be taken to mediation. You will not pay the mediator. The mediator is paid by the judiciary. So it also eases the burden on your end. You know, having a court matter and you don't know when it's going to be concluded and all that can be very, very challenging. So thank you. Back to you, Damaris, and the blessings.
Thank you very much, Daisy, for that elaboration. And members, you can take a moment and go to our website by clicking quickie.ke. And if you do that, you'll be able to get all our services and get to know who Liaison Group are. Thank you. Thank you very much, and see you next time during our next webinar. You can now leave. I'll be sharing this presentation.